Word time. Let's learn some new words. Circle back. To return to a topic later. Let's circle back to the budget after the demo. Touch base. To make brief contact for an update. I'll touch base with the design team tomorrow morning. Take it offline. To discuss something outside the meeting. This is getting detailed, so let's take it offline. Loop in. To include someone in a discussion, please loop in the finance head on this thread. Keep in the loop. To keep someone informed. Keep me in the loop about the client feedback. Out of the loop. Not informed about something. I was on leave, so I'm out of the loop on this project. On the same page, in agreement or shared understanding. Let's confirm we are all on the same page before we end. Sync up. To meet briefly to align. Can we sync up for 10 minutes after this call? Ping me. Send me a quick message. Ping me on Slack once the report is ready. Follow up. To check progress after an action. I will follow up with the vendor by Friday. Action item. A task assigned during a meeting. The first action item is updating the pricing sheet. Next steps. Tasks to do after the meeting. Let's list the next steps before we close. Hard stop. A fixed time when someone must leave. I have a hard stop at 3 p.m. for another call. Park it. To set a topic aside for later. Let's park it and revisit after the sprint. Put a pin in it. To pause a topic to return later. Good point, but let's put a pin in it for now. Table the discussion. To postpone a discussion. We'll table the discussion until the data arrives. Deep dive. A detailed examination of a topic. Next week we'll do a deep dive into churn numbers. Drill down. To examine something in more detail. Let's drill down into the regional sales data. Double-click on. To explore a point in more detail. Can we double-click on the onboarding metrics? High level. General without much detail. Give us a high-level summary before the details. Big picture. The overall view of a situation. Let's keep the big picture in mind during this review. In the weeds. Lost in small details. We're getting in the weeds, so let's step back. Down the rabbit hole, into an endless distracting topic. That question took us down the rabbit hole for 20 minutes. Go off on a tangent. To drift away from the main topic. We went off on a tangent about office policies. Sidebar. A quick side discussion. Quick sidebar about the demo before we continue. Level set. To establish shared understanding. Let me level set on where the project stands. Align on. To reach agreement on something, we need to align on the launch date today. Flag it. To point out an issue. If you see the risk, please flag it early. Unpack. To explain something in detail. Let's unpack that feedback from the client. Low-hanging fruit. Easy tasks with quick results. Fixing the sign-up bug is low-hanging fruit. Move the needle. To create noticeable impact. Will this campaign actually move the needle on sales? Bandwidth. Capacity to take on work. I don't have bandwidth for another project this week. On my plate. Among my current responsibilities, I already have 3 releases on my plate. Off my plate. Removed from my responsibilities. Once QA signs off, this task is off my plate. Spread too thin. Overloaded across too many tasks. The team is spread too thin across 5 clients. Heads up. An advance warning. Just a heads up that the client joins at noon. Heads down. Focused on work without distractions. I'll be heads down on the report till lunch. Boil the ocean. To attempt an impossibly large task, let's not boil the ocean and just fix login first. Out of scope. Beyond the agreed boundaries of work, mobile support is out of scope for this phase. Scope creep. Gradual expansion of project requirements. These extra requests are classic scope creep. Quick win. An easy achievement with fast results. Updating the FAQ page is a quick win for support. Run it up the flagpole. To propose an idea for feedback, let's run it up the flagpole with leadership first. Get buy-in. To gain support for an idea, we need to get buy-in from the sales team. Push back. To resist or challenge a proposal, the client may push back on the new timeline. Ballpark figure. A rough estimate. Give me a ballpark figure for the ad spend. Back of the envelope. A rough quick calculation. A back of the envelope estimate puts cost at 2 lakhs. On my radar. Something I am aware of. The renewal deadline is on my radar. Under the radar. Unnoticed or without attention. That bug stayed under the radar for months. Moving forward. From now on, moving forward, all updates go in the shared doc. Going forward. In the future, going forward, we'll record every client call. You're on mute. Your microphone is off while speaking. Sorry, Rahul, you're on mute again. Off mute. With microphone turned on. Please come off mute and share your update. Hop on a call. To join a call quickly, can you hop on a call in 5 minutes? Jump on a call. To join a call promptly, let's jump on a call to sort this out. Dial in. To join a meeting by phone or link, the client will dial in from Dubai at 4 p.m. Drop off. To leave a call early, I need to drop off at 4:30 for another meeting. Patch in. To connect someone into an ongoing call, let me patch in our tech lead for this question. Breakout room. A smaller separate virtual room. We'll split into breakout rooms for the workshop. Share your screen. To display your screen to others, please share your screen and open the dashboard. Can you see my screen? A check that screen sharing works. Can you see my screen or is it still loading? You're breaking up. Your audio is cutting intermittently. You're breaking up, so please repeat the last part. Cutting out. Audio dropping repeatedly. Your voice keeps cutting out on my end. You froze. Your video stopped moving. You froze for a minute, so we missed your point. Lagging. Delayed audio or video. The video is lagging because of my network. Echo on the line. Sound repeating on the call. There's an echo on the line, so someone please mute. Background noise. Unwanted sounds during a call. Please mute to cut the background noise. Virtual background. A digital backdrop on video. His virtual background hides the messy room. Waiting room. A holding area before joining a call. 2 guests are still in the waiting room. Admit. To let someone into the meeting, please admit the client from the waiting room. Record the meeting. To capture the meeting for later, I'll record the meeting for absent members. Meeting minutes. Written record of a meeting. The meeting minutes will be shared by evening. Take the minutes. To write the meeting record, Priya will take the minutes today. Note taker. Person who records key points. We need a note taker for the client review. Timekeeper. Person who watches meeting time. Amit will be timekeeper so we finish on schedule. Stick to the agenda. To follow the planned topics, Let's stick to the agenda and save questions for the end. Off agenda, not part of the planned topics. That topic is off agenda, so let's note it separately. Time check, a reminder of remaining time. Quick time check as we have 10 minutes left. We're at time. The scheduled time is over. We're at time, so let's take the rest to sync. Running over, exceeding the scheduled time. We're running over, so I'll be quick. Back-to-back, meetings scheduled without gaps. I'm back-to-back till 5, so email me instead. Double booked, scheduled for 2 meetings at once. I'm double booked at 2, so I'll join late. Calendar Tetris, juggling to fit meetings into a schedule. Finding a common slot was pure calendar Tetris. Block time, to reserve time on a calendar. Block time on Friday for the sprint review. Calendar hold, a tentative reservation on a calendar. I've sent a calendar hold for Thursday morning. Tentative, not yet confirmed. Mark me tentative as I may have a client visit. No show, someone who does not attend. The vendor was a no-show at the demo call. Zoom fatigue, tiredness from too many video calls. After 6 calls I'm hitting serious Zoom fatigue. Cameras on, expectation to keep video enabled. It's a client call, so cameras on please. Raise your hand. To signal you want to speak, raise your hand in the app if you have questions. Open the floor, to invite everyone to speak. I'll open the floor for questions now. The floor is yours. It is your turn to speak. Sanya, the floor is yours for the demo. Pass the mic. To hand speaking, turn to someone. Let me pass the mic to our design lead. Hop off. To leave a call. I'll hop off now and catch the notes later. Go async, to continue via messages instead of meetings. Let's go async on the remaining review comments. Offline conversation, a discussion outside the meeting. We'll have an offline conversation about the budget detail. Stand-up, a short daily status meeting. Share your blockers in tomorrow's stand-up. All hands, a meeting for the entire company or team. The CEO will announce results at the all hands. Kick off, to start a project or meeting. We kick off the new project on Monday. Wrap up, to finish or conclude. Let's wrap up with a quick summary of decisions. Call it a day, to stop working for the day. It's already 7 p.m., so let's call it a day. Cut to the chase, get to the main point quickly. Let's cut to the chase and discuss pricing. Get to the point, say the essential thing directly. We're short on time, so please get to the point. Long story short, summarizing briefly. Long story short, the client approved the design. In a nutshell, in summary, in a nutshell, we need 2 more weeks. Bottom line, the most important conclusion. The bottom line is we can't miss this deadline. Key takeaway, the main point to remember. The key takeaway is that retention drives revenue. Food for thought, something worth thinking about. Her question about pricing is food for thought. Play devil's advocate, to argue an opposing view for testing. Let me play devil's advocate on this launch plan. Elephant in the room, an obvious issue nobody mentions. The elephant in the room is our shrinking budget. Read the room, to sense the group's mood. Read the room before pitching another price hike. Temperature check, a quick poll of opinions. Quick temperature check on a new logo, please. Pulse check, a brief check on status or mood. Let's do a pulse check on team morale. Gut check. Testing one's instinct on a decision. Gut check before we sign this contract. Sanity check. A quick check for obvious errors. Do a sanity check on these numbers before sending. Sense check. A review for reasonableness. Can someone sense check the proposal draft? Reality check. A confrontation with facts. The user survey was a reality check for the team. Litmus test. A decisive indicator. Renewal rate is the litmus test of product value. Smoke test. A quick basic functionality test. Run a smoke test before the client demo. Dry run. A practice session before the real event. Let's do a dry run of the presentation tonight. Dress rehearsal. A full practice of the final event. Tomorrow's call is a dress rehearsal for the launch. Walkthrough. A step-by-step explanation. I'll give a walkthrough of the new dashboard. Run through. A quick complete review. One final run through before the client joins. Show and tell. Presenting work informally. Friday's show and tell features the new app screens. Compare notes. To share observations with each other. Let's compare notes after our separate client calls. Radio silence. No communication at all. There's been radio silence from the vendor since Monday. Crickets. No response from anyone. I asked for volunteers and got crickets. Keep me posted. Keep me updated. Keep me posted on the server migration. Bring up to speed. To update someone with information. Let me bring the new joiners up to speed. Get up to speed. To become fully informed. Give me a day to get up to speed on the code pace. On the same wavelength. Thinking alike. The designer and client are finally on the same wavelength. Singing from the same hymn sheet, presenting a united, consistent message. Sales and marketing must sing from the same hymn sheet. Apples to apples, a fair like-for-like comparison. Compare the two vendors apples to apples on pricing. Apples and oranges, two things too different to compare. Comparing the two tools is apples and oranges. Talk past each other. To miscommunicate without realizing, we were talking past each other about the deadline. Talk over. To speak while someone else is speaking. Please don't talk over the presenter. Hear me out. Listen to my full point. Hear me out before rejecting the idea. Bear with me. Please be patient with me. Bear with me while the file loads. Correct me if I'm wrong. Invite correction politely. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the deadline moved to July. Piggyback on that. To add to someone's point. To piggyback on that, we should also update the FAQ. +1. To express agreement with a point. +1 to Nah's suggestion about weekly demos. Echo that. To repeat agreement with a point. I'll echo that concern about server costs. Second that. To formally support a suggestion. I second that motion to shorten our stand-ups. Dovetail with. To fit together neatly. This feature dovetails with our Q3 roadmap. Segue into. To transition smoothly to a topic. That segues into our next agenda item. Steer the conversation. To guide the discussion direction. She steered the conversation back to deliverables. Hijack the meeting. To take over the meeting off topic. One vendor question hijack the entire meeting. Derail the discussion. To push the discussion off course. Personal complaints derail the discussion. Bring it back on track. To return to the main topic. Let's bring it back on track to the sprint goals. For the record. To state something officially. For the record, I raised this risk last month. Off the record. Not to be officially noted. Off the record, the client is unhappy with support. Green light. Approval to proceed. We got the green light to start development. Red flag. A warning sign. The missed deadlines are a red flag for the project. Showstopper. A critical blocking issue. The login bug is a showstopper for the release. Deal breaker. A condition that ends an agreement. The pricing change is a deal breaker for the client. Non-starter. An idea with no chance of success. Rewriting the whole app in a month is a non-starter. No-brainer. An obvious, easy decision. Automating this report is a no-brainer. Slam dunk. A guaranteed success. The renewal deal is a slam dunk this quarter. Home run. A big success. The product demo was a home run with investors. Swing for the fences. To attempt something ambitious. With this campaign we are swinging for the fences. Moonshot. A very ambitious, risky goal. The AI assistant project is our moonshot this year. Stretch goal. An ambitious target beyond the plan. 50 new clients is our stretch goal for Q3. North Star. A guiding long-term goal. Customer retention is our North Star metric. Guardrails. Limits that keep work safe. We need guardrails around the AI features. Stay in your lane. To stick to your own responsibility. Design feedback is fine, but stay in your lane on pricing. Swim lane. A defined area of responsibility. Each team has its own swim lane in this project. In my wheelhouse. Within my area of expertise. SEO audits are right in my wheelhouse. Out of my depth. Beyond my ability or knowledge. I felt out of my depth in the legal discussion. Above my pay grade. Beyond my authority to decide. Approving the refund policy is above my pay grade. Kick the can down the road. To delay a decision. We keep kicking the can down the road on hiring. Punt. To postpone or defer. Let's punt on the redesign until next quarter. Shelve it. To set aside a plan. We decided to shelve it until budget approval. Back burner. Low priority status. The mobile app is on the back burner for now. Front burner. High priority status. Security fixes are on the front burner this week. Sunset. To phase out a product or feature. We plan to sunset the legacy portal by December. Back to the drawing board. To restart planning after failure. The client rejected the design, so back to the drawing board. Back to square one. To start again from the beginning. The vendor pulled out, so we are back to square one. Reinvent the wheel. To redo something that already exists. Use the existing library and don't reinvent the wheel. Square peg in a round hole. A person or thing that does not fit. That tool is a square peg in a round hole for our workflow. Bite the bullet. To accept something difficult. We bit the bullet and migrated the entire database. Pull the trigger. To make a final decision. Let's pull the trigger on the new CRM today. Pull the plug. To cancel a project. Management pulled the plug on the pilot program. Line in the sand. A firm limit. The launch date is our line in the sand. Stake in the ground. A firm initial position. Let's put a stake in the ground with a draft proposal. Hill to die on. An issue worth fighting for. The button color is not a hill to die on. Pick your battles. To choose which conflicts matter. Pick your battles and let the minor issues go. Win-win. Beneficial for both sides. The partnership is a win-win for both companies. Zero-sum game. One side wins only if the other loses. Budget allocation should not be a zero-sum game between teams. Trade-off. A compromise between two options. Speed versus quality is the main trade-off here. Meet halfway. To compromise equally, let's meet halfway on the delivery timeline. Middle ground. A compromise position. We found middle ground on the pricing model. Common ground. Shared agreement or interest. Both teams found common ground on the API design. Level playing field. Fair equal conditions. Remote work created a level playing field for all offices. Move the goalposts. To change the criteria unfairly, the client keeps moving the goalposts on requirements. Sign off. To give formal approval, the director will sign off on the budget tomorrow. Rubber stamp. To approve without real review, the committee just rubber stamps whatever leadership proposes. Thumbs up. Approval or agreement. The client gave a thumbs up to the new logo. Get the nod. To receive approval, our proposal got the nod from the board. Give the go-ahead. To grant permission to start, finance gave the go-ahead for the new hires. On board. In agreement and participating. The whole team is on board with the new process. All clear. Confirmation that it is safe to proceed. QA gave the all clear for deployment. Heavy lifting. The hardest part of the work. The backend team did the heavy lifting on this release. Roll up your sleeves. To get ready for hard work. Time to roll up our sleeves and clear the backlog. Hands-on. Directly involved in the work. We need a hands-on manager for this project. Hands-off. Not directly involved. The CEO takes a hands-off approach to daily operations. Hand-holding. Giving constant guidance. The new tool needs no hand-holding after setup. Spoon feed. To give information too easily. Don't spoon feed the interns every answer. Herding cats. Managing an unmanageable group. Scheduling 10 managers for one call is like herding cats. Wear many hats. To handle multiple roles. In a startup, everyone wears many hats. Pass the baton. To hand over responsibility. The retiring lead passed the baton to his deputy. Tag team. To work in alternating partnership. Let's tag team the client calls this week. Divide and conquer. To split work for efficiency. We will divide and conquer the audit checklist. Pull your weight. To do your fair share. Everyone must pull their weight during crunch time. Carry the team. To do most of the team's work. Ria carried the team through the migration. Go the extra mile. To do more than required. Support went the extra mile to fix the issue overnight. Above and beyond. Far more than expected. Her documentation work was above and beyond. Burn the midnight oil. To work late into the night. We burned the midnight oil before the demo. Pull an all-nighter. To work through the entire night. The team pulled an all-nighter to fix the outage. Crunch time. A period of intense pressure. It's crunch time before the product launch. Down to the wire. Until the last possible moment. The contract negotiation went down to the wire. 11th hour. The last possible moment. They changed the requirements at the 11th hour. Race against the clock. To hurry to meet a deadline. Fixing the bug before launch was a race against the clock. Buy time. To delay to gain more time. The interim patch will buy time for a proper fix. On the clock. During working hours. No personal calls while you are on the clock. Off the clock. Outside working hours. Don't message the team when they are off the clock. Time is of the essence. Speed is critical. Time is of the essence for the security patch. Juggling priorities. Managing many tasks at once. I'm juggling priorities across 3 client projects. Spinning plates. Handling many tasks simultaneously. Between audits and releases, I'm spinning plates all week. Plate is full. Having no capacity for more work. My plate is full, so assign the report to someone else. Firefighting. Handling urgent problems constantly. The team spent the sprint firefighting production issues. Put out fires. To resolve urgent problems, I spent the morning putting out fires with the vendor. Fire drill. A sudden, urgent, unnecessary task. The last-minute report request was a complete fire drill. All hands on deck. Everyone must help. It's all hands on deck for the go-live weekend. War room. A dedicated space for crisis work. We set up a war room for the outage response. Deep work. Focused on interrupted work. I block mornings for deep work on architecture. Context switching. Shifting between different tasks. Too much context switching kills productivity. Focus time. Scheduled time for concentrated work. I have focus time blocked from 10 to noon. Busy work. Work that looks busy but adds little value. Updating that tracker daily is just busy work. Grunt work. Boring routine work. The interns handle the grunt work of data entry. Legwork. Basic preparatory effort. The analysts did the legwork for the market study. Groundwork. Foundation work for a project. The pilot laid the groundwork for a full rollout. Lay the groundwork. To prepare the foundation. This quarter we lay the groundwork for expansion. Do your homework. To prepare thoroughly. Do your homework before the vendor negotiation. Due diligence. Careful investigation before deciding. We did due diligence on the acquisition target. Dot the I's and cross the T's. To check every small detail. Dot the I's and cross the T's before submitting the contract. Fine-tooth comb. Very detailed examination. Legal went through the agreement with a fine-tooth comb. Where the rubber meets the road. Where theory faces reality. User onboarding is where the rubber meets the road. Boots on the ground. People working at the actual location. We need boots on the ground at the client site. In the trenches. Doing the hard daily work. Support agents in the trenches know the real issues. At the coalface. At the point of actual work. Feedback from people at the coalface shaped the redesign. Shoulder to the wheel. To make a determined effort. Everyone put their shoulder to the wheel for the launch. On track. Progressing as planned. The migration is on track for Friday. Off track. Not progressing as planned. The sprint went off track after 2 resignations. Full steam ahead. Proceeding with maximum effort. With approvals done, it's full steam ahead on hiring. Lose steam. To lose energy or momentum. The initiative lost steam after the sponsor left. Run out of steam. To become exhausted. The campaign ran out of steam by month 3. Gain traction. To start making progress. The new feature is gaining traction with users. Lose traction. To stop making progress. The proposal lost traction after the reorg. Build momentum. To steadily increase progress. Early wins helped build momentum for the rollout. Stalled. Stopped making progress. The vendor negotiation has stalled over pricing. Spinning our wheels. Working hard without progress. Without clear requirements, we are just spinning our wheels. Treading water. Maintaining position without progress. The team is treading water until the budget clears. Dead in the water, completely stopped with no hope, without funding. The expansion plan is dead in the water. Up in the air, undecided or uncertain. The office relocation is still up in the air. In limbo, in an uncertain waiting state. The contract is in limbo pending legal review. On hold, temporarily paused. The redesign is on hold until Q4. On ice, postponed indefinitely. The partnership talks are on ice for now. In flight, currently in progress. We have 3 in-flight initiatives this quarter. Moving parts, many interconnected components. This launch has too many moving parts to rush. Ducks in a row, everything organized and ready. Get your ducks in a row before the audit. The ship has sailed, the opportunity has passed. The ship has sailed on the early bird pricing. Missed the boat, failed to take an opportunity. We missed the boat on the festival sale campaign. Window of opportunity. A limited time to act. There's a short window of opportunity before competitors react. Runway. Time or money available before running out. The startup has 12 months of runway left. Home stretch. The final phase. We are in the home stretch of the ERP rollout. Final stretch. The last part of an effort. Testing is the final stretch before release. Cross the finish line. To complete something, we crossed the finish line on the certification. Stick the landing. To finish successfully. The demo stuck the landing with the client board. Land the plane. To bring the discussion to conclusion. We have 5 minutes, so let's land the plane. Get off the ground. To start successfully. The referral program never got off the ground. Hit the ground running. To start with immediate progress. The new hire hit the ground running in week 1. Hit our stride. To reach peak performance. The team hit its stride by the 3rd sprint. Find our footing. To become stable and confident. It took a month to find our footing after the reorg. Turn the corner. To pass the worst phase. Support metrics show we have turned the corner. Light at the end of the tunnel. Hope after a difficult period. After months of debugging, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Over the hump. Past the hardest part. Data migration is done, so we are over the hump. Halfway mark. The midpoint. We hit the halfway mark of the roadmap in June. Milestone. A significant progress point. Reaching 1,000 users was a key milestone. Checkpoint. A scheduled progress review. We have a checkpoint call every Friday. Progress report. A summary of work done. Send the progress report before the steering call. Status update. Current information on progress. Give a quick status update on the API work. Health check. A review of overall condition. The quarterly health check flag 2 risky projects. Green across the board. All items in good status. All modules are green across the board this week. In the red. Losing money or behind target. The support division has been in the red for 2 quarters. In the black. Profitable or on target. The product finally moved in the black this year. Trending up. Improving over time. User engagement is trending up since the redesign. Trending down. Declining over time. Churn is trending down after the pricing fix. Hockey stick growth. Sudden sharp growth. The app saw hockey stick growth after the viral video. Flatline. To show no growth or change. Sign-ups flatlined after the campaign ended. Bounce back. To recover quickly. Sales bounced back after the festive quarter. Course of action, a planned way of proceeding. Escalating to the vendor is our best course of action. Hiccup, a small temporary problem. We had a minor hiccup during deployment, but it's fixed. Snag, an unexpected small obstacle. We hit a snag with the payment gateway integration. Roadblock, a major obstacle. Legal approval is the main roadblock right now. Blocker, something preventing progress. Any blockers before we close the stand-up? Bottleneck, a point that slows everything down. Code review has become a bottleneck for releases. Pain point, a recurring problem for users. Slow invoicing is the biggest pain point for clients. Sticking point, an issue blocking agreement. Data ownership is the sticking point in the contract. Friction, resistance that slows a process. Too many login steps create friction for users. Headwinds, conditions that slow progress. The industry faces regulatory headwinds this year. Tailwinds, conditions that help progress. Cheaper cloud costs are tailwinds for our margins. Uphill battle, a very difficult struggle. Winning back the lost client is an uphill battle. Swimming upstream, struggling against strong opposition. Pitching manual processes now is swimming upstream. Curveball, an unexpected difficulty. The client threw us a curveball with new requirements. Wrench in the works, something that disrupts a plan. The visa delay threw a wrench in the works. Pandora's box, a source of many new problems. Changing the data model opened Pandora's box. Can of worms, a complicated, problematic situation. Renegotiating old contracts is a can of worms. Snowball effect, a problem that grows rapidly. Git testing created a snowball effect of bugs. Domino effect, one event triggering a chain. The server crash had a domino effect on all services. Ripple effect, spreading indirect consequences. The layoffs had a ripple effect on team morale. Knock-on effect, a secondary consequence. The delay had a knock-on effect on the marketing plan. Tip of the iceberg, a small visible part of a bigger problem. The reported bugs are just the tip of the iceberg. Under the hood, the hidden internal workings. Under the hood, the app uses 3 microservices. Behind the scenes, happening privately or internally. A lot of work happens behind the scenes before a launch. Black box, a system with hidden workings. The vendor's pricing algorithm is a black box. Gray area, an unclear, undefined situation. Data sharing with partners is a legal gray area. Moving target, a goal that keeps changing. The launch scope has become a moving target. Shifting sands, constantly changing conditions. Planning is hard on the shifting sands of client priorities. Minefield, a situation full of hidden dangers. Cross-border tax compliance is a minefield. Landmine, a hidden serious risk. That legacy code is full of landmines. Ticking time bomb, a problem that will explode later. The unpatched server is a ticking time bomb. House of cards, a fragile and stable structure. The whole integration is a house of cards. Band-aid fix, a temporary superficial solution. Restarting the server daily is just a band-aid fix. Duct tape solution, a rough improvised fix. The cron job workaround is a duct tape solution. Quick fix, a fast temporary solution. We need a quick fix now and a real fix next sprint. Workaround, an alternative way to avoid a problem. There's a workaround until the patch is released. Tech debt, future cost of shortcuts in code. We must budget 1 sprint for tech debt cleanup. Slippery slope, a small step leading to worse outcomes. Skipping reviews for small changes is a slippery slope. Perfect storm, many problems combining at once. The outage plus the audit created a perfect storm. Worst case scenario, the most negative possible outcome. In the worst case scenario, we roll back to the old system. Edge case, a rare unusual situation. The bug only appears in an edge case with empty carts. Achilles heel, a critical weakness. Documentation is the Achilles heel of this product. Weak link, the least reliable part. Manual data entry is the weak link in the pipeline. Single point of failure, one component whose failure breaks everything. That one server is a single point of failure. Red tape, excessive bureaucracy. Red tape delayed the import license by months. Jump through hoops. To complete many unnecessary steps, we jump through hoops to get vendor approval. Bumps in the road, minor problems along the way. Expect a few bumps in the road during migration. Growing pains, problems from rapid growth. The support backlog is part of our growing pains. Teething problems, early stage minor issues. The new CRM has some teething problems. Smoke and mirrors, deceptive presentation. The demo was smoke and mirrors with fake data. Skeletons in the closet, hidden past problems. The audit revealed skeletons in the closet from old contracts. Point person, the main contact for a task. Anita is the point person for the vendor migration. Go-to person, the person everyone relies on. Rahul is our go-to person for Engine X issues. Right hand, a trusted main assistant. The COO is the founder's right hand. The devil is in the details. Small details cause big problems. The plan looks fine, but the devil is in the details. Big fish, an important, powerful person. We landed a big fish as our anchor client. Top brass, senior leadership. The top brass will attend the quarterly review. Higher-ups, people in senior positions. The higher-ups approved the remote work policy. The powers that be, the people in control. The powers that be froze all new hiring. Gatekeeper, a person controlling access. The AD is the gatekeeper for the CIO's calendar. Stakeholder, a person with interest in the outcome. Invite all stakeholders to the kickoff call. Decision maker, the person with final authority. Make sure the decision maker joins the pricing call. Key player, an essential team member. She's a key player in the enterprise sales push. Team player, someone who works well with others. We need a team player, not a solo performer. Lone wolf, someone who works alone. He's brilliant but a lone wolf on projects. Squeaky wheel, the loudest complainer gets attention. That client is the squeaky wheel getting all our support hours. Yes man, someone who always agrees with the boss. Leadership needs honest feedback, not yes men. Straight shooter, a direct, honest person. Our CFO is a straight shooter about budget cuts. People person, someone good with people. Put a people person in the client-facing role. Number cruncher, someone who works with data. The number crunchers will validate the forecast. Bean counter, an accountant focused on costs. The bean counters rejected the travel budget. Pencil pusher, a person doing routine paperwork. He left the pencil pusher role for product management. Backseat driver, someone giving unwanted directions. Stop being a backseat driver and let the team execute. Scapegoat, a person unfairly blamed. The junior dev became the scapegoat for the outage. Fall guy, The person who takes the blame, the vendor, became the fall guy for the delay. Throw under the bus. To blame someone to protect yourself. He threw his teammate under the bus in the review. Cover your bases. To prepare for all possibilities. Document everything to cover your bases before the audit. Watch your back. To protect yourself from betrayal. Watch your back in that politically charged department. Have your back. To support and protect someone. Present the idea confidently. The team has your back. On the hook. Responsible for something. I'm on the hook for the quarterly numbers. Off the hook. Freed from responsibility. The vendor fixed it, so we are off the hook. Pass the buck. To shift responsibility to others. Stop passing the buck and own the mistake. The buck stops here. I take final responsibility. As project lead, the buck stops here with me. Take ownership. To accept full responsibility. Take ownership of the bug and drive the fix. Own it. To fully accept responsibility. We shipped the wrong build, so let's own it. Step up. To take on more responsibility. Someone needs to step up and lead the migration. Step down. To leave a position. The VP stepped down after the merger. Step in. To intervene and help. The manager stepped in to resolve the conflict. Fill someone's shoes. To take over someone's role. It's hard to fill her shoes after 10 years of leadership. Big shoes to fill. A predecessor hard to match. The retiring architect leaves big shoes to fill. Learn the ropes. To learn how things work. Give the new hire a month to learn the ropes. Show the ropes. To teach someone the basics. Deepak will show you the ropes on the deployment process. Old hand. An experienced person. She's an old hand at handling difficult clients. Fresh eyes. A new unbiased perspective. Let's get fresh eyes on the proposal before sending. Second pair of eyes. Someone to double check work. I need a second pair of eyes on this contract. Sounding board. A person to test ideas with. Use me as a sounding board for the pitch deck. Brain trust. A group of expert advisors. The founder's brain trust reviewed the strategy. 2 heads are better than 1. Collaboration improves results. Pair up on the design since 2 heads are better than 1. Too many cooks. Too many people ruin the work. 5 approvers on 1 dock is too many cooks. Skeleton crew. Minimum staff needed to operate. We run a skeleton crew during the festival week. Bench strength. Backup talent and a team. Cross-training improves our bench strength. Think outside the box. To think creatively. Think outside the box for the retention campaign. Ahead of the curve. More advanced than others. Adapting AI early kept us ahead of the curve. Behind the curve. Slower than others to adapt. We are behind the curve on mobile optimization. Learning curve. The effort needed to learn something. The new ERP has a steep learning curve. Blue sky thinking. Idealistic unrestricted thinking. Start with blue sky thinking, then narrow down. Brainstorm. To generate ideas as a group. Let's brainstorm campaign ideas for 30 minutes. Spitball. To suggest rough ideas casually. I'm just spitballing here, but what about a referral bonus? Throw ideas at the wall. To try many ideas quickly. Let's throw ideas at the wall and see what sticks. See what sticks. To find what works by trying. Run 3 ad variants and see what sticks. Straw man. A weak version of an argument or draft. I'll build a straw man proposal for us to critique. Straw poll. An informal quick vote. Let's take a straw poll on the two logo options. Game plan. A strategy for achieving a goal. What's our game plan for the renewal negotiation? Roadmap. A plan showing future steps. The product roadmap covers the next 3 quarters. Blueprint. A detailed plan. This document is the blueprint for our expansion. Playbook. A set of standard strategies. Follow the sales playbook for enterprise deals. Master plan. An overall guiding plan. The master plan includes 3 new markets by 2027. Plan B. An alternative plan. If the vendor fails, we switch to Plan B. Fallback plan. A backup option if the main plan fails. Manual processing is our fallback plan for outages. Contingency plan. A plan for unexpected events. Every launch needs a contingency plan for rollback. Safety net. Protection against failure. Daily backups are our safety net. Hedge your bets. To reduce risk with multiple options, we hedge our bets by supporting 2 cloud providers. All eggs in one basket. Risking everything on one option. Relying on one client is putting all eggs in one basket. Don't count your chickens. Don't assume success too early. Don't count your chickens before the contract is signed. Cross that bridge when we come to it. Deal with a problem when it arises. Scaling issues can wait. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Burn bridges. To destroy relationships permanently. Don't burn bridges when leaving a client project. Build bridges. To create good relationships. The offsite helped build bridges between the 2 teams. Bridge the gap. To reduce a difference. Training will bridge the gap between juniors and seniors. Close the loop. To complete communication fully. Close the loop with the client after the fix ships. Come full circle. To return to the starting point. We tried 3 tools and came full circle to the original. Connect the dots. To see how things relate. The report connects the dots between churn and support delays. Zoom out. To look at the bigger picture. Let's zoom out and review the annual goals first. Zoom in. To focus on details. Now zoom in on the checkout drop-off numbers. Course correct. To adjust direction midway. The metrics dipped, so we course corrected the campaign. Pivot. To change strategy significantly. The startup pivoted from B2C to B2B. Change tack. To try a different approach. Cold emails failed, so we changed tack to webinars. Shift gears. To change focus or pace. Let's shift gears and discuss the hiring plan. Change of pace. A variation from routine. The offsite was a nice change of pace for the team. Recalibrate. To adjust settings or expectations. Let's recalibrate the targets after the market shift. Regroup. To pause and reorganize. Let's regroup on Monday after the client feedback. Take stock. To assess the situation. Mid-quarter is a good time to take stock of progress. Take a step back. To pause and reconsider. Take a step back and question the original assumption. Take a beat. To pause briefly. Take a beat before replying to that angry email. Sleep on it. To delay a decision overnight. It's a big offer, so sleep on it and decide tomorrow. Mull it over. To think about something carefully. I'll mull it over and share my answer by Friday. Chew on it. To think about an idea. Interesting proposal, let me chew on it this weekend. Marinate on it. To let an idea develop over time. Good concept, let's marinate on it before deciding. Percolate. To develop gradually in the mind. Let the strategy percolate before we commit resources. Noodle on it. To think casually about a problem. I'll noodle on the naming options tonight. Whiteboard it, to sketch ideas visually together. Let's whiteboard it in the next working session. Sketch it out, to outline an idea roughly. Sketch out the user flow before writing code. Ballpark it, to give a rough estimate. Just ballpark it. How many hours will the migration take? Order of magnitude, a rough scale of size. Give me an order of magnitude estimate for the cloud costs. Rough cut, an early unpolished version. Here's a rough cut of the promo video for feedback. First pass, an initial attempt. This is a first pass at the pricing model. Rinse and repeat, to repeat the same process. Test one region, then rinse and repeat for the others. Copy that. Message understood. Copy that. I'll update the ticket status. Roger that. Understood and agreed. Roger that. Deployment moves to Saturday night. Loud and clear. Perfectly understood. Your audio is coming through loud and clear now. Over to you. Passing the turn to speak. That covers my update. Over to you, Priya. Take it away. Begin your presentation. The deck is on screen. Take it away, Samir. Round robin, taking turns one by one. Let's do a round robin for team updates. Go around the room. Everyone speaks in turn. Let's go around the room for introductions. Popcorn style. Speakers choosing the next person. We'll share updates popcorn style today. Lightning round. Very quick short answers. Quick lightning round. Any blockers from anyone. Rapid fire. Fast continuous questions or answers. We'll take rapid fire questions in the last 5 minutes. Parking lot. A list of topics saved for later. Add the pricing debate to the parking lot. Housekeeping. Routine administrative announcements. Quick housekeeping before we start. Please stay muted. Ground rules. Basic rules for behavior. Let's set ground rules one speaker at a time. Rules of engagement. Agreed norms for interaction. Define rules of engagement between sales and support. Meeting hygiene. Good habits for effective meetings. Agendas and time boxes are basic meeting hygiene. Camera shy. Uncomfortable being on video. Some team members are camera shy, so keep video optional. Talk shop. To discuss work in casual settings. We ended up talking shop at the team dinner. Water cooler chat. Informal office conversation. Remote teams miss the water cooler chat. Small talk. Light casual conversation. A little small talk helps before tough negotiations. Break the ice. To ease initial awkwardness. A quick poll helps break the ice in workshops. Icebreaker. An activity to start conversation. We started the offsite with a fun icebreaker. Warm up the room. To make the audience comfortable. A short story warms up the room before the pitch. Wind down. To gradually reduce activity. We wind down the project support next month. Cool down period. Time to relax after intense work. Give the team a cool down period after the release. Debrief. A review discussion after an event. Let's debrief right after the client presentation. Postmortem. Analysis after a failure or project end. The outage postmortem identified 3 root causes. Retro. A team reflection meeting. Add the process issue to the sprint retro. Lessons learned. Knowledge gained from experience. Document the lessons learned before closing the project. Silver lining. A positive side of a bad situation. The silver lining of the delay is more testing time. Blessing in disguise. A hidden benefit in a problem. Losing that client was a blessing in disguise. Double-edged sword, something with both benefits and risks. Remote work is a double-edged sword for collaboration. Two sides of the same coin, closely related opposite aspects. Speed and risk are two sides of the same coin. On the flip side, considering the opposite view, the tool is costly, but on the flip side it saves hours weekly. Read between the lines to understand hidden meaning. Read between the lines of the client's short replies. At face value, accepting something as it appears. Don't take the vendor's claims at face value. Grain of salt, with healthy skepticism. Take the survey results with a grain of salt. Benefit of the doubt. Assuming good intent without proof. Give the new vendor the benefit of the doubt this once. Vote of confidence, an expression of trust. The extra budget is a vote of confidence in our team. Seal of approval, official endorsement. The design got the client's seal of approval. Check the box to fulfill a formal requirement. The training felt like just checking the box. Cross-functional, involving multiple departments. We formed a cross-functional team for the launch. Break down silos. To improve interdepartmental collaboration, shared dashboards help break down silos. Work in silos. To work without sharing across teams, sales and product still work in silos here. Bird's eye view, an overall view from above. The dashboard gives a bird's eye view of all projects. 30,000-foot view, a very high-level perspective. Give the board a 30,000-foot view, not the details. All done. You learned all 500 words.